The text that brings us together today is Matthew, chapter 6, verses 24 to 34. What is this text about? This text speaks to us about material goods. Two words will be at the center of our meditation. You cannot serve two masters. Do not worry about your life. First point, you cannot serve two masters. Jesus is referring here to the two masters that each of us is called upon to responsibly choose to serve him, but whose consequences will not be identical. Because serving one leads to destruction and death, while serving the other leads to life and eternal happiness. According to Saint Augustine, mammon in Chaldean means wealth. This word is personified here and opposed to God. In Greek, the word serve is synonymous with to be a slave. This is perhaps where the meaning of the word serve is more compatible with our meditation text. The popular belief in Jesus' time, and to some extent today, was that earthly riches were a manifestation of divine blessing. Wealthy men were considered God's favorites. In verse 24 of our text, mammon thus refers to material wealth, but also to our education, our work, our reputation. It is for this reason that when our attachment to what is most dear to our hearts relegates our faith in God to the background, self can be substituted for mammon. What leads man to amass riches on earth? Man is aware that he will not be eternal here below, and he seeks to make the most of his life, without worrying about losing his earthly life. And sin is the cause. Sin conceived and maintained in the heart of man makes him selfish. Selfishness is at the origin of all other sins, such as pride, greed, or covetousness. It should be noted that three possible effects are often produced by sin. Sin enslaves us, it makes us blind, and finally, it destroys us. A choice of life is necessary for every man. Since there are only two masters and only two kingdoms, each of us must choose the master to serve, because no one will be a citizen of two kingdoms. Either we will live in the kingdom of heaven or in the kingdom of darkness. This is why the Word of God never ceases to recommend us to turn away from sin, to follow Jesus and serve him faithfully. This is the narrow path that Jesus advises us to take to be children of the kingdom of heaven, because the broad road leads to eternal punishment, as Matthew chapter 7, 13 to 14 tells us. Second point, do not worry about tomorrow. Jesus' exhortation is not an invitation to do nothing and wait for manna to fall from the sky. Even the birds, which are taken as an example, are tirelessly active during the day. They build their homes and do so many other things to keep themselves busy. Certainly God feeds them, but this food, which is available in nature, must be sought. As for man, since the fall of Adam and Eve, all his needs must be satisfied by the sweat of his brow, as stated in Genesis chapter 3:19. This means that for the unconsecrated Christian, his service to God must be planned according to his availability, in relation to his work and family responsibilities. Many resign from their domestic duties under the pretext of being absorbed by the service of the Lord. It is a question of finding a proper balance between the two services, because in both, it is the Lord whom we honor. God, in order to nourish us, waits for the first step from us. It is therefore up to us to plant, plow and water. God makes the growth, as 1 Corinthians chapter 3:7 tells us. By taking the image of the Father and the child, we can understand what our relationship with God should be. Indeed, every good father always acts for the good of his child, feeds him, clothes him, ensures his moral education, takes care of his school education. God acts just as much for us. What he expects from us is that we place our total trust in him, like a small child with his biological father. This trust is faith in him and in his beloved Son, Jesus Christ. For without faith, we cannot please him. See Hebrews chapter 11:6. We therefore do not have to worry about tomorrow, because God always provides for the needs of those who trust Him. Philippians chapter 4:19 tells us, "When worries of any kind come to us, let us bring our burden to Christ. He will take care of us," as Peter says in his first letter, chapter 5, verse 7. In conclusion, let us know that God is the only master we are called to serve. You cannot be a Christian and still frequent marabouts and esoteric lodges. Having a heart torn between God and what God rebukes leads to losing the status of a child of God. See 1 Timothy chapter 4:1-7. Worry is part of humankind's worries. Psalm chapter 104:27 teaches us that God gives everyone food in due time. It is up to us to believe this word and live according to God's will. Like and subscribe to receive a word of life every day. May God bless you.